Hello everyone, welcome to our today's new video in which we are going to cover the VPC flow log architecture. Now, this is the first video in this series and we are basically going to have a look on the architecture in order to understand how we can better use the VPC flow log in order to analyze the network logs using the AWS VPC flow logs. Now, when you are going to use the VPC flow logs, you have an option to combine it with store the logs directly in the S3 bucket, or you can even use the CloudWatch for directly searching these logs and creating the alerts and analyzing the sequences within the logs. So we are going to discuss about both, and later we are going to cover the practical session on setting up this architecture diagram within the AWS. So this is the first video of our series, and in this we are going to use a VPC which has been pre-set up, and we are going to use a subnet in which the EC2 instance has already been created. Now this EC2 instance is having its own security group and it comes with an ENI, that's our network interface. So we are going to create a VPC flow log. Now, when you create this VPC flow log, you have an option, basically three options. You can create it at the VPC level, you can create it at the subnet level, or you can create it at some particular ENI level. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a VPC flow log at the VPC level, which is going to monitor all the network cards, ENIs that we are having within that VPC. And if any event is getting generated, it's going to write that across the log. And that log, we have basically two options, either to store it on S3 or send it to the CloudWatch. Now, the VPC flow log will be based on security group rules. So if we have a security group rules to basically allow the request, those requests, like let's say we are doing an SSH to a server, based on that, if we have opened the port 22 on that server, so it will be marked as allowed event, okay? And if we have basically disabled from a particular subnet or an external IP, if that request reaches there, the security group is going to block it, in which case it would be marked as disallowed if all these events are going to be recorded inside the S3 bucket. Now, both of these options, S3 bucket and CloudWatch, have their merits and demerits. If we talk about S3, basically it provides you a cost optimized way of storing the large amount of logs, VPC flow logs, because the network data is very high. So you would be generating huge amount of data, which needs storage. In this case, the S3 storage will be cheaper option. And you have an Athena query for getting the insights into the log. So you are going to generate a database. You are going to insert the tables. That way you can run directly the queries on the data which is present in the S3 bucket. And AWS only charges you for each query that you make. So this is very cost effective way. And it also on the data that gets analyzed. So it's a very cost optimized way and a pre-created solution. So it will show you and present the data in a very readable format. This is one of the options that we are going to seeing in our practical session. The another option is directly send the VPC flow logs, which gets generated into the CloudWatch. Now, CloudWatch is basically a monitoring tool, so it will allow you to search those logs. Apart from that, you can also analyze the events, create alarms, and even create graphs, dashboards in order to analyze that data. But if you try to store, it cannot store a huge amount of previous data which is getting generated very rapidly. Okay, though it provides you with a search functionality. And then if you are using CloudWatch, you can basically create the alarms on the logs. So it can analyze a particular pattern within the logs, and if those events happen more than a particular threshold, then it can raise the alerts in those cases. Now you can directly configure the alarms to send you the notification using the SNS service, and this SNS service can send out you the emails to the end users, so that if any security event is happening in your environment, like if some user gets blocked or from the SSH is not able to SSH, or SSH is failing, or someone gets blocked because the security group rule didn't allow it, such kind of off firewall events can easily be tracked, and you will receive automated emails. And from the security perspective, you can analyze what's happening in this case. So it's pretty much important. So throughout this series of videos, we are basically going to create 4 more videos in which we are going to create CloudWatch log groups and VPC flow logs to CloudWatch. Then once this has been configured, we are going to create CloudWatch filters and alerts. Then we are going to use CloudWatch insights. And finally, we are going to analyze the VPC flow logs data in Athena. So these are the 4 further videos that you can expect in this series of video. All right, that's all there for this video. I'm going to come up with further videos shortly. So do subscribe to our channel in order to receive them at the earliest. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you in my next video.